Trigger multiple means that players can step in and out of this trigger multiple times, essentially. Now you can just use a normal trigger and just tell it to use to recognize multiple instances of that event, but this is something that the geniuses came up with, so we're just going to use this. Give this a name. Red spawn, I guess, door trigger. Start disabled, no. Global entity name, don't worry about that. Filter name, we're going to worry about it in a second. And amount of time in seconds. Delay before reset, make that 0. Okay, so we're going to need to do something about this, which right here is the filter name. Filter to use to see if the activator triggers me. What this is essentially is it takes in another entity called a filter, and it recognizes players from given certain properties to open the door for. So what we're going to use filters for is only allow red team players in this particular instance to activate this trigger to open the door. We don't want blue players coming into the red spawn after all, and vice versa when we do the blue spawn. So we'll get to that in a second. Hit apply. Okay. Let's make that filter real quick. So go over to entities. You search for filter, then find filter activator TF team. Click that. And it doesn't matter where on your map the filters are, but I like to keep all of my global entities in one place so I know where to find them. So just pick a place, put down 2 of them, since we're going to need one for the red team and one for the blue team. Pull up the properties on first one, make that one red, I guess. Name that one filter red. And then allow enemies or entities that match the criteria, and the criteria being the team is red. Associated control point, this is often used for capture point maps with multiple spawns that maybe both teams will use eventually. So associated control point means that if the team has that control point, then it allows that filter, or it allows team members to use whatever this filter is applied to. So hit apply there. Do the same thing with the blue team. Filter blue. Apply. Now we go back to our trigger. And then the filter name, we're going to apply filter red. So we want red team to get in and out of the building here. Okay. Now we have all the parts of our door. We just need to tell the trigger and door what to do. So pull up the properties on the trigger multiple, and we're going to go to the outputs tab right here. The outputs are essentially, well, what happens on it's going to send a message to, it's going to give some instructions to a different entity on the map based on something that's happening. So better to just show you by doing, so click add. It's going to make a new output. My output named, and then you've got all kinds of conditions. So do on start touch all. Well, yeah, on start touch all. Target entities named. We're going to target the door. So, and then via this input, we're going to go down to open. So what's going on here is essentially when something touches the door, anything, then we're going to send a message to respawn door telling it to open. And that's all we're doing. Let's add another one. Say on end touch all. Once everything is not touching that trigger anymore, we're going to tell the door to, you guessed it, close. Okay. Now if we go to the door and pull up its properties and go to inputs, you should be able to see that it's taking input from the red spawn door trigger, and it's going to do these. It's going to either close or open depending on what the message is. Let's give this an output too. Also, add my output named on open. Target entities named the prop here. Red spawn door prop is what I named mine. Via this input, let's see here. Where is it? Set animation with parameter override of, and this is a special kind of, you have to give the computer some extra information to open. Hit apply and make a new one. Or I can just copy and paste, and instead of saying on open, I'll say on close, red spawn door prop, set animation, close. Then hit apply again. Okay, so what's going on here is once a player hits the trigger here, it'll send a message to this virtual door here and tell it to open up. When that gets the message to open up, it's going to send its own message to the prop dynamic and say, okay, animate yourself. Make it look like you're opening a door. And the prop dynamic will do that. Once a player leaves the trigger zone, then the door will close. And then when that happens, this message will be sent to the prop saying, okay, go animate yourself to make it look like you're closing. And then that should be good. Just to test to see all these things work, I'm going to save it and run that.